Thank you. Thank you very much, Chairman Scott and Mr. Secretary. Good morning and welcome. I want to first thank you and President Biden for agreeing to my request to include $24 million for supplemental education grant for the Republic of the Marshall Islands and the Federated States of Micronesia. It is important that we, the United States, keep its commitments to the freely associated states. So thank you. The President's fiscal 23 budget calls for an increase in K-12 education investments, including a proposal to more than double Title I-A funds and significantly invest in mental health services and wraparound supports for students and families. So can you tell us about the importance of these investments, even after the significant investments Congress has made in K-12 education through the CARES Act, the CRRS Act of 2021, and the American Rescue Plan Act?
Thank you, Congressman Sablan. Yes, prior to the pandemic, our country had tremendous disparities in access and in outcomes for students, depending on where you are in the country and what access you had to high quality education. And sadly, the pandemic made them worse. Title I, to me, is the best tool we have to level the playing field so that all children across the country have access, high quality education, qualified teachers, and pathways to higher education. So these programs that are funded through Title I ultimately result in reading teachers, in librarians, in additional tutoring, after-school programming, so that our students have the access, the opportunities that might have been missed during the pandemic. We believe that it is incumbent upon us to make sure that all children have a quality education, and Title I program does focus on making sure it's leveling the playing field.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. And also a recent report from the GAO found that nearly 1 million students never showed up for class in 2020-21 school year. A variety of obstacles, reasons kept students from their education, including limited or no adult assistance at home, competing demands on their time, such as providing care to a family member during the COVID-19 pandemic. And this is the reason why Democrats passed the largest single federal investment in K-12 education in U.S. history in the American Rescue Plan to help communities and school districts return to in-person learning and to help students with their educational, social, and emotional needs. So, Secretary Cardona, can you please share the department's plans for assisting schools in re-engaging disconnected students and making up for lost time in the classroom?
Thank you. Yes, I can. So there's short-term and there's long-term. Short-term, as you mentioned, the American Rescue Plan provided funds where districts can use the money to re-engage families. I've seen so many creative uses of the American Rescue Plan dollars. In Nevada, they created a team of parent liaisons that went out into the community to help families re-engage. In many cases, these students were also dealing with housing insecurity and food insecurity. So the American Rescue Plan dollars were helped re-engage those students into the school and provide support for those students. So that's some of the short-term strategies that I've seen, and states are using the American Rescue Plan dollars to re-engage students. Long-term solutions, we're asking in our proposal for full-service community schools. Those schools that did a better job re-engaging students were the schools that had a health center located there, that had access to food pantries for the students who were hungry, that had access to technology tools so students could be connected at home, and who had mental health support for students that were better developed than other schools. So the short-term solution is ensuring American Rescue Plan dollars are available for this. Long-term solutions is investing in full-service community schools, which we know help students stay engaged.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. And another topic, but relative to K-12 education, is that I have a growing interest in learning why, for example, Guam and the U.S. Virgin Islands have been placed on high risk for a decade or more, and trying to find out and understand why this program, why despite the effort that I know for at least for Guam, they continue to be placed in this situation. But that's for another issue. Mr. Secretary, thank you very much for your time. And Mr. Chairman, I yield back.